How far will you go to find your perfect horse? Recently, I've traveled as far as Ohio to find my perfect horse, and I ended up finding it in Pennsylvania. Hi, my name is Grace Huffam, and I'm a part of the Stablemates 4-H Club, and this is my 7th presentation. There is one major rule to buying horses, and that is to see the horse before you actually buy it, so that you can make sure that the description that you are given is accurate to the horse. An overview. Some things we will be talking about today is costs, what you want, questions, the seller, and some ads. First is costs. With all these costs, you need to make sure you budget to fit all of these things in. First is the upfront costs of the horse. Second is the transportation of you to go look at the horses and transportation of the horse to be where it is to where it will be staying. Next is the vet check. The vet check includes an overall physical, vital signs, and a flexion test, which could detect potential lameness that should be conducted before every purchase. What you want. There are many different horses out there, so you want to make sure you know exactly what you want before you start looking. Here are some things to consider. Some wants could be you need to analyze yourself on your level of riding and make sure you determine on how much you can handle in a horse and how much experience you have, and be honest with yourself. Next is the age of the horse. The age of the horse can contribute to how much energy they have and how much experience they have. Next is the maintenance of the horse. The maintenance includes things like injections to their joints to keep them as healthy as possible so they can perform. Next is the use of the horse. What exactly will you be using this horse for? Next is the discipline. What discipline do you like riding, and what discipline would you use this horse for? Next is location. When you're looking for horses, you want to set a parameter on how far you're going to look for your horses. Next is the breed of horse. The breed of horse can contribute into what you're using your horse for, because certain breeds are better for certain disciplines. Next is registered. If it's a registered breed, you'll be able to show at that breed shows and other things that that breed has special to them. Next is the height of the horse. The height of the horse can contribute to your riding ability, because larger horses tend to be more difficult to handle and smaller horses tend to be easier. Next is the build of the horse. The build of the horse is its muscle mass and its conformation that can contribute to other health issues in the future. Next is the color. The color of the horse can also contribute to how much effort you're willing to put in to make your horse look nice. Next is the attitude of the horse. The attitude of the horse can also be determined by your level of riding and how much experience and how much work you are willing to put into this horse. Here are some questions that you should ask the owner, seller, or any other people familiar with the horses. First is the history of the horse. The history could include anyone who has owned the horse before the people that own him now. It can also include the show history of the horse, if it has ever shown, or what its placings were in those shows. Next is some injuries. Injuries can contribute to further problems down the road. Next is its living situation. If its living situation is different than what you would be putting it in, you need to make sure that that horse can be able to handle that change. Next is the temperament of the horse. The temperament is like the attitude, and you need to make sure that you can handle how much energy that horse has. Next is trailering. If it trailers well, you don't need to train it how to trailer in case of an emergency, and if you do, you need to do that as soon as you buy it in case of an emergency or if you'll be showing a lot. Next is bathing. Bathing, if it's calm when it bathes or if it needs a little extra help to stay calm when you're bathing it. Next is a proof of age. A proof of age, some Some sellers do not tell the full age of the horse, and in a vet check, it can be shown if the horse is older or younger than it actually is. Its teeth can show that with the Galvane's group. Next is if the horse needs any maintenance, like injections or any supplements that it has to take. Next is the trainer. Is it at a trainer's and is it being ridden every single day of every week? Next is its work schedule. If it's not at a trainer's, how often do you ride it and how much stress has it been put under? Next is trail riding. If you want to take this horse on a trail ride, has it ever been to a trail? Has it ever been on a trail? Next is jumping. Has the horse ever jumped? Would it be suitable for jumping? And if it's not, why? Next is the seller. Do some investigation on the seller. And what other horses they have sold and how it has turned out. Arrive early sometimes may help because some sellers do drug their horses to make them perform as best as possible. Most of the time, it is a very short lasting effect, so they will wait till the last minute to give it to the horses. If you arrive early and you might catch them off guard, and the drugs might not have set in or have been given yet. And if so, if you see a change in the horse's attitude, or if you see them give them anything, then you can say thank you and move on from that horse. Don't believe that everything that the sellers tell you. Next is the purpose of selling. The purpose of selling is really important because if you find out that they just buy and sell and they're a broker, then they might not be telling you the whole truth. But if it's a nice family and they're just selling it because either they can't afford it anymore or they just don't really want the horse and they wanted a new one, it can contribute to your decisions. Here are some ads. Here are some places to find horse ads. Dreamhorse.com, Facebook, Sales Paddock app on your phone, equinenow.com, and the word of mouth. The word of mouth is very important because if you have a trainer or any other people in the horse industry and they know you and they know other honest people who sell horses and they know exactly what you want and what level you want the horse at, and it could really help. Here's one ad. This includes, its name was Clifford, and it shows its sire and dam and how old it was, and it also includes some other details like smooth jog, its height, and some awards it's won. And this one does not give a price. They only want you to contact them if you really want to buy him. This is another ad. This one has a little more information, and this one also includes a price and a video. The videos you can't always trust, but it is helpful. And this one has the least information, so they're really trying to find someone who really wants to know more about the horse, and it also includes a video. My resources were countrysidenetwork.com, personal experience, and muckbootsandmuchins.com. Are there any questions?
I have a question. How much does a vet check usually cost? And if the horse doesn't do well in a vet check, do you get your money back?
The question was how much are vet checks, and if they don't pass, do you get your money back? Vet checks can be from $300 to $500, and you do not get your money back if they do not pass because they still came out and did the service.
Thank you.